breaking news, though, on WeWork we need to turn to. David Faber has those details. Hi, David.
Hey, Courtney. Yeah, this afternoon we can tell you that SoftBank and WeWork are very close to a deal that could be announced as soon as tomorrow, under which SoftBank would take control of WeWork with a new equity infusion of between $4 to $5 billion. Most of it new equity that would be infused into the company, though some of it also being reserved for the possibility of some selling shareholders. This would, though, give SoftBank control of WeWork. It is, of course, a space-sharing company that has been, well, to put it mildly, in the spotlight for some time when it was unable to reach an IPO some time back after many investors balked at so many of the different things they learned in the S1. Management has since changed. Adam Neumann, of course, stepping down as the company's CEO. But since then, the need to raise new capital has been paramount at the company. And they have been talking to J.P. Morgan, largely, though, about a debt financing. And really, when you've got a debt problem already, more debt isn't necessarily the answer. What conceivably would be, and give them more time, is a large equity infusion. It does appear they're very close, though not yet finalized, on reaching that deal with SoftBank. To be clear, it would be SoftBank itself that makes this new investment, not the Vision Fund, which has already invested some $10 to $10.5 billion in WeWork at far higher valuations. In fact, to put this in some perspective, the new deal being contemplated would value WeWork at between $7.5 and $8 billion, roughly. And again, people close to these talks are not giving the absolute specifics, and some of it does depend on the final deal. $4 to $5 billion in equity, most of it being infused as new equity, but some, of course, also coming in the form of secondary or shares being sold by selling shareholders to SoftBank. As well can tell you the expectation is that Marcelo Claure, somebody we know fairly well, of course, the former CEO of Sprint, who's very senior at SoftBank, would take a leading role, at least in the interim, in terms of the management at the company. Adam Neumann's stake, I am told by people familiar with the talks, would fall to the low double digits in terms of percentage. And again, all of his voting control and everything would go away, given that SoftBank would have control of the company at this point. It could be as soon as tomorrow. We'll see. There have been a lot of stops and starts along the way. I am told that Mr. Masa and Mr. Neumann have somewhat repaired their relationship. If you recall, they were, of course, very, very close, or at least Mr. Masa certainly was a huge supporter of Mr. Neumann's for quite some period of time. But they hit some significant turbulence when WeWork itself did over this last couple of months. But I am told they are at least working together again. Unclear what role, if any, Mr. Neumann would have on a day-to-day basis, but certainly as the founder and longtime CEO of the company, his input might be helpful as well when SoftBank takes control. Again, if and when they take control, it does appear likely they would own between 60 and 70%, Courtney, I'm told, of WeWork when and if this deal is completed, as seems highly likely according to people familiar with the situation. Though, as you well know, we wait until we see the press release to say something is definite.
Sure.